Welcome back to the Telos Buzz. How's it going, Thomas?
Well, welcome back, everyone. It's going great, Liam. Absolutely splendid. A beautiful day out today in sunny Toronto, Canada. Yeah, very excited to be back here for another episode of the Telos Buzz. You got your coffee, Liam?
I don't, but I do have a sandwich here, so that's close enough, maybe.
Amazing. Well, surprisingly, I don't have any coffee either, but we'll just pretend. We'll make believe like we've got both got hot drinks going. Sometimes it's just those days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm really excited for this guest that we've got coming on today. I don't usually like to pick favorites, when it comes to all the amazing apps in our ecosystem. So I won't, but I'll say that, Zeptagram's pretty high up there. If I was to pick a favorite, it'd be, because my background's in music production. That's why I got into blockchain initially. That's why I'm so excited really about Telos Culture and its mission to bring culture to the space and support artists. And that is exactly what Zeptagram's mission is. And it goes beyond kind of other NFT platforms, which are really just focused on visual artists. It really offers a lot of opportunities for music artists as well. Primarily, right? That's their target market and what they're trying to do there. And I think a lot of people find that NFTs in their current state is all that they'll become, but they really aren't conducive to what they can do when you tie in rights and stuff like that. So that's what Zeptagram's been tackling for the past 3, 4, 5 years. So it's going to be lots of fun to bring them in a few. So guys, stick around if you're watching, and make sure in the meantime that you subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we go live. This is going to be lots of fun. Should we jump into the news, Thomas?
Heck yeah, let's get right to it. Liam, why don't you kick things off with our first piece of news?
Let's do it. So we got an update here from the Telos Foundation. The Telos token has been integrated into Simplex. You can buy Telos with a credit card. This is huge. If you've heard it before, Simplex is a licensed financial institution that empowers its vast network of partners to accept the widest range of payment methods. These include Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, Swift, and more. Not financial advice at all, of course, but you can try it out right now on the telos.net. So that is a very cool tool because it does give us a bit of a more accessible way that people can opt into the ecosystem and start using it. So really cool to see that piece of technology there. I'll have to look into whether that works in Canada, because I know in Canada we're kind of been it's been tricky to get a hold of the Telos tokens. So here's hoping. That would be great. Also, speaking of NFTs, before we get on to our next piece of news, we got Wayne Shepherd here in the audience. Wayne, you're going to love this event because you have some fantastic visual NFTs that have some famous music icons on it. So this music talk is going to be just for you.
Yeah, a couple of David Bowie in particular I've seen on some of Wayne's artwork. So, yeah, very, very cool stuff.
Interestingly enough, maybe Christine will touch on this when she comes in, but Zeptagram was partially inspired by a David Bowie story as well. So maybe I'll have to ask her about that now since we got Wayne here.
Truly. All right. Well, that's amazing news. Very exciting about Simplex. Yeah. Any way to get Telos into the hands of people who want them, that's great. Let's talk about some other updates from the Telos Foundation. Some spacey projects have been backed by Telos Ignite. So there's a couple that we're going to talk about that are announced this week. The first is Sky Meta. They are the creator of blockchain gaming guild management tools, and they're backed by Telos Ignite. So their team mentioned that a lot of things about Telos appealed to them, from Telos's low transaction cost, the high speed, and also the environmentally friendliness. They were some of the reasons that they chose to come and apply on Telos. We've got another one as well that I've not heard of, but they're called Moon. They're an NFT game and a metaverse that will have players colonize the moon. I don't know why it's always the moon. I'd love to see something that's going to like Pluto, or I guess Pluto isn't really a planet anymore, but it's still up there in space. But in this case, you colonize the moon, and also read up on moon-related conspiracy theories in what they call a play-to-learn structure. So hey, like that sounds interesting. I hope it could be more exciting than Did you ever play some of those CD-ROMs growing up? Those like educational games where you would like learn about farm animals and such.
I
It,
love things. I was, born and raised on the educational, what was Scholastic computer games. Oh,
that's exactly it.
it's the only reason I can type.
True enough. Or good old Math Circus, if
Oh, with
anyone's
Reader Rabbit, was it?
Reader Rabbit, Math Circus. He did a whole bunch of them. So maybe something in that vein. Whatever the case, they are backed by Telos as well. So congratulations to them for that.
Fun.
So yeah, let's jump on over to some ecosystem news. Take it away,
Yeah.
Liam.
Telos Task. I'm really hyped about this one. Telos Task has launched their ITO on T-Starter. This is really cool because they used their initial funds, right? They had a pretty successful launch. I think they were the first project to launch a token on T-Starter. And that was over a year ago now. And since then, they've used those funds to build the platform and really get their MVP going. So they really are showing that, hey, look, we've got these funds. Look at all the stuff that we've done with it. Now they're coming back and asking for more funding from potential investors to add liquidity to T-swaps and build out a bit more marketing and platform maintenance for it. So definitely go check that out. As always, none of this is ever financial advice. Please do your own research, but you can head over to T-Starter and learn more about that. You can also head over to the Telos Task website as well. Yeah, really cool project. It's there to really empower micro and macro economies, they call it, and find a more efficient way for people who want work to be done to find people who can do those tasks. Kind of almost like, I don't know if you know Craigslist, almost like a Craigslist of the blockchain, but there's a little bit more nuance and intricacies to it there. And the token is very cool too, because that's the token that you actually use to hire people to get those tasks done. So go check it out. Do your own research, of course, but they're live on T-Starter, and the last one, to my understanding, was successful very quickly. So if you want to jump on that.
Amazing. Well, we'll make sure to get everyone to go check that out. Yeah, they're such a cool project. We almost had them on as a guest at a previous Telos Buzz. We might have them on in the future though to see.
This month they're gonna...
Heck yeah. Well, we'll hear all about them from then once they come on. Let's jump over and talk about really quickly before we jump into our interview with Christina. Let's talk about some NFT stuff.
Yeah.
There's going to be Mission NFT. They've launched an artist referral program. So what they're really passionate about here is encouraging more participation and get in contact with some budding artists who may, they may just be starting out in their artist career and they may not have even have minted an NFT before. And they're just really trying to get people to participate. So how it works is you get people to sign up for Mission NFT. So remember that you got to have them confirmed by the big GUI. Your referral could earn you anywhere from 1,000 to 100 telos, depending on how high the artist you refer ranks in Mission NFT. So if you've got some artist friends that you're looking to drag into the world of NFTs, then this could be a great opportunity to reach out and get them in touch. Yeah, very exciting.
That's really great. Just another way to keep bringing more artists to the ecosystem and encouraging that growth. So check that out for sure. I'm excited about this one. Somebody tweeted out and tagged me in it as well because they know I love the Croco Island NFTs. They're having a Black Friday sale this Friday, I believe.
It is this today.
Hey, jump on that. Not financial advice at all, but check it out. All Croco Island mints are on sale for 20 telos each, down from 25 telos. What is that? That's like a 20% discount. Exactly. Crazy. The deals are everywhere. Taking part in this sale will also enter you in a raffle for some extra Crocs and other NFT projects. I saw, maybe I'm wrong here, don't quote me, but I think the banner for it had also a logo for the Barnyard Critters. So maybe that's one of the other NFT projects that are there. I don't know. But
I think you're right.
That is a fun project, and it's cool that they've got the sale going on. I think they're pretty close to minting out right now. So hopefully this is that thing that helps push them over the edge and gets that excitement going. They're also in the NFT hackathon as well. So just a cool project, definitely worth checking out.
Most definitely. All right, well, that's what we got for our news. Now let's jump into The moment you've all been waiting for, our talk with Christina from
Yeah.
Zeptagram.
Right before we do that, guys, make sure if you're watching that you hit subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on that bell icon so you get notified. And of course, as always, be sure to vote for Telos Culture as a block producer on the Telos mainnet. If you like what we're doing, it's really the best way to support our work here and make sure that we can keep bringing you this content. So yeah, moment we've all been waiting for. Let's bring in Christina. Hey, Christina, how are you doing?
Hi, Liam. Fine. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Christina.
Thanks so much for taking the time to join us. I'm really excited to have you here.
Yeah, always nice to talk to you, Liam.
Likewise. I think I just want to jump into things. We're really aligned in, I think, our missions in the space, right? We both really got into blockchain for the same reasons, both, industry professionals outside of this in the music industry, performers, producers. And we both saw problems there. So the first thing I want to touch on is really what inspired the Zeptagram platform. What are some of those problems that you saw in the industry that made you want to get this going?
Yeah, as you can see, I'm in the studio, and this is the studio that we actually had in our house and had customers producing music here for 10, 15 years. So doing that and going from the CD production, which were you had a decent pay, you could pay your rents and bills and so on. But then came Pirate Bay. Wow, what a depression! And then came Spotify, not a smile, but you at least got hope. But the issue was there. Here, for instance, my co-founder Johan, he was a producer of one of the biggest artists here. He actually worked this career from zero. Håkan Hellström built him from zero to actually a mega star here in Sweden, actually most famous star today. And that's a great achievement. But doing that and still having problem paying your bills, then I knew something was wrong. And we also had a band, he and I, but I didn't expect that sort of income for that band because that was more like a sidekick that we were doing. So I was thinking there is a value here that is not seen. Labels are still making money. Some companies are making. So where do they make the money? And then it was the intellectual properties, and they were there. But I understood that the creators really wasn't a part of that deals. That overvalue there is there. So I was like, we have to do something about this. So we started off actually selling 5 of our hit songs on a traditional auction house on an online auction. And the site crashed because the interest from the public was so much. And then I said, okay, so if this guy that is so successful need this, what about the middle guy? He needs this as definitely. And the people have an interest of being a part of the music industry, but they are not invited. That's where this started. And also you were talking about Bowie, because I lived in London in the 90s. And David Bowie actually put his 5 upcoming records on the stock exchange and asked people to invest in that, which was the first artist to do that. And then also Manchester United put their football team on the stock exchange and invited in their fans. And that's the trend that now has become where the football teams have a lot of money. And I was thinking, so smart. Why doesn't the music industry do this? Because music is even more consumed than football, but the users, the fans, are not invited into it. So this is a win-win for all parties in the industry.
That's fantastic. Really cool story there. And I totally hear what you're saying about there being still a lot of income in the industry, but none of it making it to the artists or even the industry professionals, right? It is interesting in that there is that path that I think a lot of people go through where they start as an artist and they say, great, I'm going to, try being a professional. Maybe I'll be a manager, be a producer, be an engineer. They go there and they realize, okay, there's still no income really to be made here. How can I, make a living, even though you're creating all these things that people find valuable, right? So I think that's a good point to a transition into maybe a little bit about what it does. But before we do that, it looks like we have a couple guests in the waiting room as well who are from Zeptagram. Should we bring them in? One is their title is at Zeptagram, and the other is RE Blitz. Where you should I welcome them onto the chat?
Yeah. They actually Say and Ari is the producer of Lady Gaga, and he's in Team Zeptagram US. And
Fantastic.
Say is the movie star of Amistad and been touring with Missy Elliott and all sort of things. He's a master. He's a musician, dancer, choreographer, and movie maker. So yeah, this is Team Zeptagram US. They are here.
How you doing, beautiful people? How are you all?
Oh, doing wonderful. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure,
Yeah.
pleasure. You can already see my shirt right here. Look, I'm already in the mode.
That's amazing.
24/7. Yes.
I love that.
So Ari and Say are going to represent Zeptagram on Consensus with Telos.
Right, where we'll be next week. I'm so excited for that. Hey,
Hi,
Ari, great to see you.
No
We
sound.
can't hear you for some reason. You might need to check your sound settings. There should be a gear icon there where you can always check your input.
What a great surprise. I didn't
It's
know
great
I
to
have
see you guys.
company. Wow. Thank you, guys.
I'd love to hear maybe really quickly, since we've got you here, when you first heard about Zeptagram, what attracted you to it, or what gave you that passion to want to get involved? You're wearing the sweater. You're obviously, just championing it. What do you think sets it apart from other projects in the space right now?
Well, the first time I heard about Zeptagram, I think what it did was it empower artists, and which is one of the most important things as far as in this industry, because as creators, you put so much of yourself into your work. You speak about your life. Your music, a lot of time it's about your experience. It's your family, your upbringing, your kids, all of these things that is personal to you that you share with the world.
Yeah.
But yet, at some point down the line, you don't own any of that. Someone else just takes control of what it is personal to you. As Christina would say, you spend a lot of time in the studio. Sometimes you lose family and friends over this craft.
Yeah.
But yet, not everyone makes the money. So I think Zeptagram, what attracted me was the fact that it allowed the artist to connect with that one piece that the label has always used in terms of business, which is your fans and your audience, because that's all you need, your supporters.
Yeah. No, that's great. I think you're totally right. It's all about cutting the middleman out there, and just, artists to fans, right? And making sure that value is distributed as fairly as possible. That's great.
I think I'm here now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Great to have you here.
Guys, for me, I mean, it's the same thing as what Christina and Say said. I just think, with streaming and with the change of the landscape of we went from a physical vinyl to a CD, and then all of a sudden now we're at this new era where everything's accessible for $10 a month, and it really trickles down, and everyone in the business suffers. So the ability to grab some of that control back and be able to delegate what you want to do with your ownership of your brand, that's what attracted me. Is there really it gives all the power back to the people that create, which has been really lost in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So as I saw that and what Christina was doing, I said, I'd love to be a part of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
No, I mean, the music industry has finally got hope because of NFTs and DNFTs. It's bringing hope back, and for me, I can see a very bright future for the music industry, because there are few products that are so much consumed as music. So as soon as you can see when it's used, then the income is there. It is there. Even now, building up Zeptagram, I have to say I have more challenges that I want to cut off the middleman. It's not only people in the music industry, because as Zeptagram building a company, I tend to pay lawyers, accountants, all sort of people who do not really base Zeptagram. The money I'm paying them makes me crazy that I'm not paying the artist.
Yeah.
So there's a value chain that has to be changed in this industry.
I totally hear what you're saying. Yeah, I think that's the most frustrating thing about navigating the NFT space is exactly that, right? It's like there is so much that you have to learn that you have to deal with certain experts like lawyers or all those other people. And it just amplifies that bureaucracy that's in place. It makes things so difficult for artists in the first place, right? So props to you guys for, really going through all those hurdles so artists don't have to. I think that's huge.
Yeah. Now I want to jump in with a quick question because a lot of our viewers, I think, would be familiar with like an NFT as a piece of art or a visual thing. But you talked about DNFTs. Maybe you could tell us like what a DNFT is and also explain how a song can be an NFT.
Yeah. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. So it means that you are creating a unique identity of something. So this is actually what we create with doing that with a song publishing rights or master rights. But in order to be able to share that, we then distribute the NFTs into 100 same, like, the dollar fungible tokens, more or less. So they look the same, but they're derived from the NFTs. That's why we call it distributed NFTs. Because every listing on Zeptagram, we create 1 million tokens of that. So if you list 5%, you will be able to sell it to 1 million people. If you list the whole song, you will still be able to sell it to 1 million people. So those are the distributed NFTs that represent the right to collective royalties.
That's very cool. It gives a new level to crowdfunding too, right? Like I think a lot of the current services like Patreon and stuff like that, the supporters don't get too much out of that either. And it is a two-way street, I think, that artists need to recognize as well, right? It's like the supporters are just as important as the artists. So finding those ways to, again, give back in the royalties that receives is very cool. And it changes
for me, I mean, you can always go out and ask people for grants and so on. But I think musicians are proud people as well. So you don't want to just ask people for money because even if it's for, making a future production or a tour or marketing, you say, yes, please help me. But when, the world, the sun is shining on me, it will shine on you as well. And that's good.
Right. And just to tap into what Christina is saying, because one of the things that people have to keep in mind, the relationship between fans and artists or people to support, is such an interesting thing because the fans have this desire and obligations in their mind to make sure that the person that they like is successful. Because understand, we have access to anything that we want. You can get the music, you can get all of these things. But what makes a person takes that $10 and pay it towards a product that you've put out, knowing that they can get it? Because for them, it is important that you become number one equally as you want to be number one. So it's kind of like an interesting relationship, right? They want the same thing that you want. So in terms of support, they will go to that extent, understanding and believing that they are part of that journey that you're creating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so cool. Yeah, it's a totally new experience that way. I think that's super exciting. Great. Well, go ahead. Sorry, Christina.
I just wanted to say, I mean, the world that I see coming in the future is, first of all, decentralized. So yes, I live here, Liam, in Gothenburg, you in Canada, but I think I see you more, talk to you more than a lot of people in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So the world is about creating villages and pools and people with a common interest. And that's where I think the music industry will show that, because that's how actually not only the music industry, but the world, because your best friend may live in Mumbai next, because you have more income than your neighbor.
No, totally. I think you're right. And what's exciting for me about that is how we'll start to see this decentralized music being made too, right? Like as our economies, like our music economy becomes more connected in this decentralized way, we'll see this kind of coming together of different genres, different, personalities and professionals from all over the world. And I think that'll just happen in Zeptagram, right? So that's going to be exciting. And I think that leads me to my next sort of question, or my last question that I had here, which is a good kind of call to action for artists. Is, can you walk us through a little bit of how a band would go from, what they're doing on Spotify and in the traditional industry right now to, using Zeptagram as a partner to launch and fund their songs? So what can we tell artists to do coming out of this?
So first, if you've written a song, please register the song with some collecting agency so you have protected the ownership. That's the very basic important thing to do. Mm-hmm. And when you send a song to Spotify, you have two rights that is connected, actually more, but you have two, especially that we work with at least. That's the master right, which means it's the recording itself. And then you have the publishing rights, which means it's the creator ownership of the publishing right, who wrote the songs. So those two rights, if you protected them, then you send your song to Spotify and at the same time launch on Zeptagram and create a merchandise of your album art, which you now have spent more time on because you believe that you can actually get paid for it. So you have two products and you launch your songs and we will help you market them. But the best marketer is you and your social media. So I would say you as an artist, that's the thing. There are more tools, but you yourself, you are your brand and you have to be in the front foot of connecting with your fans because that's where the key is for your success, even when you're selling on Zeptagram. Because the first buyers are your loyal fans. So don't always think, because people always think, it's someone from far that was going to, invest in them. No, it's your close circle. That's where we start. And when it starts there, they convince other people that, yes, this is interesting. That's how you have to do. You have to work it. So then you connect, you download go to Zeptagram.com, download the apps, or use the web. If you're uploading a song, which is easier. So you have your ISWC or ISRC, which is a master right, and your identity as a composer or owner, because you can actually own a music without being a composer if you've bought it. And then you put all your songs in and you push out your crowd sale or crowdfunding, and that's it.
That's great.
So what happens now is that first, when you create this song, you have all your 1 million music tokens in your wallet because you now have a wallet on Zeptagram. So when someone buys that music token, you will get Zepta coins into your wallet and they will get music tokens. So everybody who holds this music tokens, when royalty comes in, connected to this identity of that music, distributes that on the platform.
So cool. I love it. Well, there you go.
And we have Zepta coins, so you should go and buy them from Bitmark, Bitrex, and L-Bank Pancake.
Of course. Not financial advice, though. Of course,
Not
do your own
never
research.
for me.
You can head to Bitmart, Bitfinex, was it? And what was the other one?
Bitrex, L-Bank, and Pancake.
Pancake. So go check that out there, guys. That's wonderful. Well, guys, this was so great. And it was such a good surprise to have you guys join us. That was so much fun. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in Texas next week. And
yeah,
looking forward.
Yeah, Liam, you three guys have to connect, and we are going to do great things with Zeptagram.
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you go check out Zeptagram. We're going to drop some links in the chat right now for you to go learn more. As always, make sure you subscribe, like this video, hit the bell icon so you get notified next time we go live. And as always, vote for Telos Culture as a block producer on the Telos mainnet. Go check out Zeptagram right after this. Check out their Twitter we've got there. Make sure you follow them. I know they got lots of cool music coming soon and you don't want to miss it. So yeah, thanks again, Christina, for coming out and joining us.
Thank you, Liam. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you guys for the surprise.
Thank you guys. Yes, of course.
Take care.
You take care. Bye-bye.